Heroes Like Us is a series intended at sharing comic book characters from various backgrounds and identities. We won't always get everything right, so feel free to make amendments and corrections in the comments. They're always appreciated. What's not appreciated, however, is any form of hate speech or intolerance, so comments of that nature will be immediately deleted and those users blocked from this channel. This is a place of education and celebration. Hello and welcome to Heroes Like Us. Today we are talking about characters from comic books that also happen to be Puerto Rican. So on each episode we're going to talk about a background or identity and give you some cool examples of people from that identity. Our first pick today is Marvel's Spider-Girl. Now originally this character, Anya Corazon, she went by the name Arana. So for a while that was kind of her name. She was in kind of street clothes and she had this blue exoskeleton that could cover her body and kind of accentuate her powers. So she kind of used this a lot. That was kind of her look. But most recently, she lost the exoskeleton and gained power similar to Spider-Man. So wall crawling, web shooting, things like that. So she now goes by the name Spider-Girl. Now Anya's mother is Mexican, but her father is Puerto Rican. Also from Marvel, we have a series of characters that all have the same mantle and all of them have Puerto Rican backgrounds. And that is the title of White Tiger. It started with kind of way back in the day, they had a character called White Tiger who was a guy named Hector Ayala. Now what he could do is he had these amulets that when he wore them all, it gave them the powers of the White Tiger. So he'd kind of have this suit and he had just kind of amped up abilities. So he's faster, stronger, smarter, all these things are just amped up to make him the White Tiger. These amulets also gave him animal-like instincts and senses, and it allowed him to heal, so he was also able to withstand quite a bit because he could use these amulets to heal wounds, broken bones, things like that. Now Hector unfortunately was framed for murder and he tried to escape prison and they killed him just days before the proof came out that he was innocent. So his niece, Angela Del Toro, took on the mantle of White Tiger for a while. She was much more of a vigilante, trying to kind of pay back the city that maybe killed her uncle. Now she was a little hesitant to be so out in the open, so she often worked with Daredevil and consulted him on issues of vigilantism, the pros and cons of taking vengeance into your own hands, things like that. Now the third White Tiger is actually Hector's youngest sister, who took on the mantle of White Tiger for a while, and she is the White Tiger that you probably recognize because she served on a group called the Mighty Avengers. She is on the Ultimate SpiderMan TV show. There's action figures. She is very popular in mainstream culture. So all three of them have the same abilities, same basic aesthetic, but there are definite differences to tell them apart. So we have the three White Tigers, all Puerto Rican. Next up from DC Comics, we have the character Vibe. Now if you've heard the name Vibe, it's probably because of the TV show Flash and the character of Cisco. Now, Cisco was taken from the comic books and the name Vibe was taken from the comic books, so the powers are very different. So in the show, he can kind of have visions, but in the comic books, it's vibrations. And so he can kind of create these shock waves and kind of shake at different frequencies and shoot that out towards people. His character was actually introduced a long time ago, back in the 80s, and so there is a very dated version, and that character is also, strangely enough, a breakdancer. Lastly for this video, we have Miles Morales, who is the Ultimate Universe's version of Spider-Man. So Miles Morales, his mom is Puerto Rican and his dad is black, so he's half. He is, in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker, I believe, is killed, so he takes up, he's like inspired by this, and he was also bitten by a radioactive spider, so he has very similar powers. So he becomes that universe's Spider-Man. But he's become so popular that through different big events, they've brought him into the mainstream Marvel universe to coexist alongside all the other heroes that we know and love. His powers are a bit different, so he can do kind of the normal stuff, but he also has this ability to kind of send electric shocks through his body, which he can use to kind of attack people with. He also has this camouflage ability that he can kind of blend in to his backgrounds and surroundings and appear almost invisible. He does not create webbing organically, but has web shooters. He had web shooters that were actually Peter Parker's, and later on, I believe S.H.I.E.L.D. makes him high-tech web shooters that he can use. So that is just a sampling of all the heroes that I know about that are Puerto Rican. Now, if you think of others, let me know in the comments. And it's not unheard of that we might do a part 2 if we get enough more, new ideas. So let me know who else we missed. Let me know what you think of this. Hopefully this is interesting, especially for those of you that might find yourself, I'm Puerto Rican, but I don't know what characters are like me. That is the point of this series, is to find heroes like us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.